Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to the Celtic Way. It's Dundee United versus Celtic game day. Team news reaction live from Tannadice. I'll just go on straight ahead and read the team for this afternoon's game in Dundee against Dundee United. So it's Kasper Schmeichel in goals, a back four of Greg Taylor, Liam Scales, Stephen Welsh, and Tony Ralston. A lot of changes there. Midfield three of Luke McCowan, Cal McGregor, the captain, and Rio Hatate. And the front three of Hugo Furuhashi, Daisen Maeda, and Yang Hyun-jun. The subs for this afternoon's game are Sinisalo, Palma, Ida, Baye, Navrovsky, Engels, Bernardo, Bonner, and Donovan. Tony, you're live from Tannadice. How are you doing, and what do you make of that team?
Welcome to the salubrious surroundings of Tannadice. This is the fresh box. Yeah, that team's. Listen, nobody would have predicted that team, Ryan. The manager's thrown in a few curveballs, 5 changes, I believe, from last week. Scales is in, Welsh is in for the first start of the season, and a couple of firsts today. Welsh's first start of the season, and this is Brendan Rodgers' first ever trip to Tannadice as a manager.
Yeah, I believe that Welsh first league start of the season, because he started against Falkirk, did he not?
Yeah. First league start. That's something. Yeah, sorry.
Quite interesting.
It's a team that I think you look at that and you say to yourself, okay, he's tinkered with the first team lineup, and if he thinks this is the game to do that, and then so be it. But it has to get a result now, Ryan. Bottom line.
Absolutely. I don't know if they've been struck down with the North American flu, because it seems that Austin Trusty, Cameron Carter-Vickers, and Alistair Johnson are not in the team. Everyone else, apart from maybe Nicholas Kuhn, you'd expect to maybe be in and around the team. So it's not heavy rotation. It's just because it's those two centre-back areas and right-back. The fact that there's been so much movement and people maybe feel a bit particular about that with the way that the defence has been. Recently, the defence has been quite good with Trusty and Captain Carter-Vickers. And the other fact that there's 2 changes, not just CCV, but also Trusty, and then Alistair Johnson taken out of the team as well. It might actually be due to the fact that Alistair Johnson's still nursing that knock that he's had for the past couple of games. I think he'll probably be back for the next one. But Tony Ralston, playing against his former team. What do you think of the big standouts, Tony, in this team in terms of things to talk about? Luke McCowan back in Dundee for the first time since leaving Dundee. That has been the Dundee captain, going up against his former rivals in Dundee United. I believe he scored in this fixture earlier on this season from the penalty spot. He'll be delighted to go up against his former rivals, won't he?
We got that one right, Ryan, in the predicted 11s. That's one we did get right. Really looking forward to seeing Luke McCowan. I think it's a game for Luke McCowan today. You've mentioned a few things there. I think he'll be busting a gut to make it an impression. Because this is a boy that probably thinks an Ibrox place is up for grabs. And if he can grasp the nettle here and give the manager food for thought, I think he can play himself right into contention. And as you say, knows the geography, knows the fixture, and he'll get a bit of stick, I would have thought, today, just for where he's come from. But I think he'll take that all in his stride. And I'm really looking forward to seeing him. And again, we both included him with starting 11 for a reason. I think he deserves to be in there. And this is why you have the depth of squad that you keep talking about, Ryan. Being tested to the full today. Guys have got a chance and an opportunity, so go out there and shine and see. It's all about winning, Ryan, and being clinical and professional. We say it a lot, don't we? But if ever there was a need for that to be the case today, because Celtic haven't been on their mettle since the Leipzig game. I think you'd be fair to say that. It's been a tapering off in performances, so hopefully they can rediscover their Premiership mojo today, and that's a fair rotation of the squad, and some guys have been given an opportunity, so go out there and grasp it.
Absolutely. I think there's a few places that we need to discuss. We've obviously spoke about Luke McCowan. Big day for Stephen Welsh as well. There's been links with him potentially leaving the club to go to Belgium on loan in January, but he gets his first league start of the season, as you quite rightly said. It's a big day for him, isn't it? He does get called upon in defensive crises, if you could even call this a crisis. I think not having Trusty or CCV available, that's £13 million worth of defenders not available for today's game. For what reason? I'm sure that Brendan Rodgers will disclose in his pre-match interviews that we are not privy to at this moment in time. So if anybody in the comments does hear about it and wants to let us know, then put it in the comments section. Don't shout out to Mr. Real, but hear it in the background, let us know so that we can update things. I think another big one is Yang as well. I thought Yang been really impressed for Celtic in the past couple of games. He's brought a real outlet to whatever side he plays on. And presuming that he'll play on the right side and Daizen Maeda will play on the left, because Yang can play on the left and the right. He's quite versatile in that regard. But a big day for him, isn't it, Tony? A big chance. I can't think of his first start or his last start. And I can't think. I mean, I can think of Hearts where he gets sent off, but apart from that, there's not been too many chances in which he's had a big chance straight from the off, right from the off. It's a big opportunity for him today to show why he deserves to be in the team and really give the manager food for thought for future fixtures.
First and foremost, I think Stephen Welsh just has to be the consummate pro, Ryan. Ignore the background noise and all the noise surrounding whether his future is going to be. He's got a job to do. He's currently employed by Celtic, and the manager wouldn't have played him if he doesn't think he can trust him. And also as well, he put him in the team. The future employers are watching. So if that's in his head and the manager's maybe had those conversations, go out there and impress and make it easy for someone to say, do you know what, we fancy you. If he's not going to get the game time here, that's fair enough. But he's got a job to do to help Celtic get over the line and win 3 points today. And I trust Stephen Welsh to do that. The manager clearly trusts him as well. So I don't envisage any problems with that. He's never really let Celtic down. Just been the victim of circumstance, really, hasn't he? That Celtic just now have a plethora of defenders that are higher in the pecking order than him. It happens at football clubs, and if this is his kind of swan song or last few appearances for the club, then go out in a high and help the club clinch another vital 3 Premiership points. As for Yang, I think everybody's of the opinion that there's a nub of a footballer in there, isn't there? There are things that he does when he comes on. Latterly, he's been impacting games and he's looked sharp. And it's just the whole. It's now the sum of the parts, isn't it? That you need to see with him. Can he string it together for 90 minutes or for as long as he's on the field today? Can he have that real breakout performance where you turn around and you say, do you know what? This is why the manager's persevered with you. We always talk about it. He places a lot of stock of what players do in training, and Yang's always in and around the squad, so he must be performing in training and doing stuff that the manager thinks, do you know what, I see some future for you at Celtic, whether that be the impact player until such times where you can be trusted for a consecutive run of games. But he's got an opportunity today, and it's like everything else, Ryan. When you get that opportunity, you have to at least give the manager a headache or a selection dilemma, or make him sit up and take notice. So I think Yang will make the most of it today. I've got a good feeling about him. Come back to me after the game, we might have a different conversation. But I think if you're Yang, you've got to be full of optimism. You've got to demand the ball and make things happen. You're replacing the likes of Kuhn in that lineup. Kuhn's had a wonderful start to the season, so you've got to raise that bar to a considerable high level and vie with Kuhn at this moment in time for a starting jersey. But I think that's a challenge that some players would like to rise to, and I hope Yang sees it that way.
Yeah, it's a real mixture on the bench as well. I'm just having a wee look at it just now. You've got senior pros, but you've also got some young players such as Bonner and Donovan. Donovan's obviously Donovan and Bonner have made a couple of appearances here or there in pre-season. I think they showed. So I would have preferred to have seen somebody like Turley on the bench, to be honest with you. Especially because he actually made his league debut earlier on in the season, probably or possibly could have been a better chance for him to come on and really make an impact. But there's, reading out the subs on the bench, Sinisalo, Palma, first team player, Ida, first team player, Baye has played games, Navrovsky in and out, Engels, although £6 million player, obviously bought for 3.5. There's experience on that bench mixed with a bit of youth too, which should be good if Celtic are needing them in the second half of the game. How important are the subs going to be in this game? Not just for the opening, not just the starters in the opening 60 minutes, but those players maybe coming on with half an hour to go, because with that defence, it could be a bit of a leveller on the day, couldn't it?
Well, you were talking off air before we came on, and you were saying that there's stories of the flu being rife amongst players, which should maybe explain the lineup in greater detail. As you say, Brendan Rodgers might be able to cast more light on that. But yeah, I remember he said after the League Cup tie against Falkirk that he wouldn't make so many changes. Maybe his hand's been forced today. He made 6 against Falkirk, didn't he? And for large parts of that game, they struggled until they brought the heavy artillery in to see the game out at the end. Well, there's 5 changes today. If I'm Dundee United, I'm buoyed by that lineup. I'm thinking, okay, let's have a go, and they will test that Celtic defence to the full. You wouldn't blame them. But yeah, I think you look at those players that are on the bench. There is quality there to come on. Hopefully, you don't need them to bail you out a hole, but it's there in abundance. And I think, okay, if it doesn't go the way that it's planned for the first hour or so, then you do have players like Ida and Engels to come on, and you paid big money for those kind of players, and they should be the difference makers if need be. Hopefully not. Hopefully they can rise to the occasion and get the job done by the time they're bringing them on, and hopefully they just bring them on to see the game out. But as I say, it's not the lineup everybody expected. There will be extenuating circumstances and an explanation for it. And until the manager speaks, we will be kind of in the dark about it. But he's picked that team for a reason. There's some guys been given an opportunity. The guys off the bench know the job. If they're coming on, they have to make an impact.
Absolutely, that's what they're there for, and that's what they're signed for Celtic for. Sometimes not even to start games, but to come on and make an impact when called upon. Just a quick word on the Dundee United. Their form at the moment, which has been pretty decent. I know they've dropped points in the past couple of games, but I think for a promoted side, before I talk about them, actually, everybody get your score predictions in the comments, and I'll try and read out as many as I can before we go off. Dundee United, Tony, they've had a really good, solid start to the season, despite being a promoted side. Obviously, they won the Championship last season. Jim Goodwin has done a really good job in bringing them back up to the top flight, and they've really consolidated themselves in the top flight. They're currently 5th at the moment, level on points with St Mirren. St Mirren won yesterday. If Dundee United were to win today, they would leapfrog Motherwell into 4th place. Motherwell and Dundee United are kind of in that spot, mixing it with each other. So they've had a really good start to the season. A couple of familiar names in there. Glenn Middleton, who used to play for Rangers and St Johnstone as well. But they've also got Sam Dalby, who is the top goal scorer in Scotland at the moment in the Scottish Premiership. So he'll be fancying his chances today, especially against the rotated defence that Celtic have got in Scales and Welsh. Is he the main danger man for you, Tony? Is he the guy that you've got to keep quiet? Does his goal record speak for itself in the league?
Big time, yeah. And also, I think in terms of continuity, the easiest thing for Dundee United to do would have been to let go of the manager when they went down to the Championship, but they kept faith in him to bring the team back up. They're now reaping the rewards of that. He's assembled together a decent squad, and they're ticking along rather nicely, maybe ahead of where they thought they would be, but I think any manager will tell you that's great. That's signs of tangible progress, and I think they'll be delighted with the start they've made to the season. And the thing about it is that they're consistent against other sides, but this is the games that they're very inconsistent in, isn't it? They don't pick up many points against the likes of Celtic and Rangers. Well, they went to Ibrox the other week and managed to get a point, but against the likes of Celtic, it's been a while since they've beaten Celtic. So I think that's something that Jim Goodwin will be focusing in and saying, look, the games against teams in and around you seem to be okay, and they seem to pick up their fair share of points that have been this season. It's big games like this, and they bring their A game. And as I say, you look at that Celtic defence, you would feel pretty confident. And I would. I'm 52, Ryan. I fancy my chances against Welsh and Scales and Ralston, because it is in all but name it a kind of makeshift back four, isn't it? And I think if you're a player worth your salt, you're thinking, okay, let's see what they got. Let's have a right go. And Celtic have to expect that today. And I think Jim Goodwin will send them out to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. Sorry if anybody can hear the sort of lag that's going on. I'm not sure if it's from my side or Tony's side. It shouldn't be from my side. I'm from the house, but Sometimes my internet can be a wee bit pernickety. I'll just bring up some of the predicted or the predicted score lines from the game. Anglin Ayrshire says 3-0 to Celtic. I'm presuming it's 3-0 to Celtic, and that's not a 3-0 home win. 2-0, Woozy says. Sorry, the lag is terrible on this. 2-0 to Celtic. 3-1 says Mark McQueen. Finn, always in the comment. If I can get it. I'm clicking on it and it's not coming up, weirdly. Tony, can you...
4-0 Hazel Finn, yeah.
4-0 to us. Got it. Gary Thompson says 4-1 to Celtic. Thank you to everybody for your predictions. Tony, just before we go off, because I realise that the internet connection's kind of going on and off here, can you give a scoreline prediction and how you see today's game going to go?
I'll say 3-1 to Celtic, but I think they might have to come from behind to do that. I think Dundee United will have a period of pressure in the game where they'll score, certainly. So, yeah, I'll say 3-1 Celtic.
Yep. I'm going to go for a Celtic win as well. I think it'll be a scored win. I think it'll be like 2-1 or 3-2. I'm going to go for that. Just as long as Celtic get the 3 points and back down the road in time for Christmas, I think nobody will complain whatsoever. I think it's a win by any means necessary today's sort of job, especially that makeshift back line. Thank you to everybody that's joined us in the comments. Sorry, it's a bit of a shorter show. It's just the internet connection seems to be going on and off. I think it's from my end as well, so it's something that I'll need to sort out before the game or ahead of the game. Thank you to everybody that's joined us. We'll be back as soon as we can after the game. There'll be instant analysis on the website. There'll also be player ratings from myself that'll be going on the website shortly after the full-time whistle. Q&As from the manager and players later on this evening, as well as plenty more content from now up until Christmas. Until then, guys, enjoy the game. Fingers crossed Celtic get the 3 points. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so already and be notified when we go live after the game to discuss everything that's happened at Tannadice. Until then, thank you very much, everybody, and we'll see you after the game. Thank you.